got put in a word for raucous. I believe Raucous, man. It's just a fantastic rock and roll record. Got to put one in real quick before I finish doing the videos for tonight for my 70s YouTube channel. At Billboard's Hot 100, we're going to Billboard's Hot 100 of 1970. Let's see, let me dig up the date for you real quick. Week of October 31st, 1970. The top 5 hits from that week, the standards that you might remember. Green Eyed Lady by Sugarloaf at number 5. Cracklin' Rosie by Neil Diamond at number 4. Fire and Rain by James Taylor at number 3. We've Only Just Begun by the Carpenters at number 2. And I'll Be There by the Jackson 5 at number 1. But let's go all the way down. Man, it's time to rock with some Iron Butterfly. One of the progenitors, or one of the, oh gosh, I don't know, I don't want to call them, well, maybe one of the inventors, uh, one of the early groups that conveyed the heavy metal sound. One of the creators of the heavy metal sound as we know it today. Oh gosh, there's just so many Lost 45s on here I want to cover, but let's go ahead and get this one in. From 82 to 75, Easy Rider, Let the Wind Pay the Way by Iron Butterfly, number 75 on Billboard's Hot 100 from California. And you might remember, of course, their big hit, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. I just looked at the title to make sure I got it right. I always think of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, 1968. It was just an all-time 1968, man. Talk about the psychedelic throwdown, the Journey to the Center of the Mind, and by the Amboy Dukes, Revolution by the Beatles, and Fire by Jimi Hendrix, and Time Has Come Today by the Chamber Brothers. Here comes the Iron Butterfly, man. We're rocking in 1968. And, you know, they had a chance. There was an opportunity for Iron Butterfly to perform at Woodstock in 1969. It almost happened, but they got holed up at LaGuardia Airport. There was a delay. And the group members, they called the promoters at Woodstock. They said, "Just be patient with us. We'll get down there. We're just holed up here at the airport." But then now things get confusing. I'll only just mention this briefly and just put this under legend. Under legend, the manager had sent a telegram to the promoters. That manager of the Iron Butterfly, he sent a telegram to the promoters of Woodstock. He said, "Look, if you send a helicopter to pick up the group, they will go down to Woodstock, send them down to Woodstock, helicopter them to Woodstock, and they'll play right then, right there. And then the group gets paid and they split. That's it." And the group, they went to Port Authority or Port Arthur or something about 3 times, and the helicopter never showed up. And there's been some confusion about that, but file that under legend. But I still wanted to get that story in. Iron Butterfly would have been perfect Woodstock. You know that. I mean, dead big time. Metamorphosis, the album, came out in 1970, summer of 1970. Second or third album did not do as well as the previous album, but this record, well, Eric Brand, guitar player, he left the band. He was replaced by 4 session players. Two of those guitar players later became regular members of the band. One of those guitar players, you won't believe it, Mike Pinara, P-I-N-E-R-A, Mike Pinara of Blues Image, who had that huge hit in the summer of 1970 with Ride Captain Ride. After Blues Image broke up, then he played with Iron Butterfly and became a member of Iron Butterfly, Mike Pinara. Boy, it's nice to know stuff like that. And In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, by the way, originally about 17 minutes. You remember the long version. Pared down to about 2 minutes and 50 seconds. But let's go back to Easy Rider. This is a good, not as commercial as In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, but still, it peaked at 66. It was on Billboard's Hot 100 for 6 weeks. I know this is a cliche, but it's a kick-ass rock and roll record just the same. Iron Butterfly on Billboard's Hot 100 in the fall of 1970.